Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a peek outside our weather window, and it's a very unsettled weather window this afternoon. Just one of those days, wasn't it? A typical fall day, kind of cool out there. We see light showers at times. Even at noontime, a little bit of sunshine, and then more showers at about 2 or 2:30 this afternoon. And that's the kind of day we had today for our Wednesday across north central Washington. As you can see, though, a beautiful shot from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. That's our cross camera, and you can see some shower activity throughout the day. That will continue into the night. And folks, as we take a peek at the rest of our week, it's going to continue right into the weekend, through the weekend. It says through Saturday, but we're going to see the wet stuff on Sunday as well. We're going to see some windy conditions. That will happen tomorrow and once again on Friday. Snow as well, especially as we get into the weekend and especially as snow levels begin to drop this weekend, and we'll see plenty of low elevation rain. More on this weather system coming up a little bit later in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. An arrest has been made as an Omak man is accused of fatally stabbing one man and injuring another in an early Tuesday altercation. Fire crews put out a fire Monday night that damaged an unoccupied backyard apartment on Wenatchee's south side. And police say a Wenatchee man found sleeping in his car had a large quantity of drugs he intended to sell. But first, we begin tonight. The body of a mentally ill East Wenatchee man missing for 3 weeks was recovered Sunday. A boater fishing the western Columbia River shoreline discovered the body of 62-year-old Michael P. Acon near the Wenatchee Apple Yard. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris said Acon apparently died by drowning. His identification was found in his pocket. Acon disappeared from his apartment in late September. Police said he lived with schizophrenia and dementia and left his medication behind. An Omak man is accused of fatally stabbing one man and injuring another in an early Tuesday altercation. 19-year-old Taylor Ray Davis was booked into the Okanagan County Jail on Tuesday night. He's suspected of stabbing 31-year-old Keith Reihart to death at an Omak home at about 3:30 a.m. Reihart was found dead in the middle of the street. A 25-year-old relative of Reihart also suffered knife wounds and was still hospitalized today. Omak Police Chief Jeff Copland said a fight between the three men outside the home apparently escalated to involve a baseball bat. Davis allegedly produced a knife and stabbed the two men before fleeing. Police arrested him at a home on Sand Flat Road outside Omak. He faces likely charges of second-degree murder and first-degree assault. Fire crews put out a fire Monday night that damaged an unoccupied backyard apartment on Wenatchee's south side. It was located behind a main residence in the 1000 block of Methouse Street. Crews from Chelan and Douglas counties responded at around 9:22 p.m. The fire was reported out about 3 hours later. Chief Brian Brett says the building's interior is salvageable and will be repaired. Brett reports a Shih Tzu dog, though, died of injuries after it was found in an outdoor kennel next to the accessory dwelling. The main residence was not damaged. Residents of the home said they were alerted after hearing popping sounds. Brett says the cause is likely accidental. Police say a Wenatchee man found sleeping in his car had a large quantity of drugs he intended to sell. 29-year-old Jared Andrew Nidro allegedly had nearly 2 ounces of heroin and just over an ounce of methamphetamine in his parked Subaru when police discovered him unconscious behind the wheel on Saturday. Police say they also found 58 oxycodone pills and a stolen .25 caliber pistol in the vehicle, plus other evidence that Nidro intended to sell the drugs. He remains in the Chelan County Jail. Prosecutors are considering 5 possible felony charges. Police say Nidro had 3 previous convictions for heroin sales in Oregon. Coming up next, outgoing East Wenatchee Mayor Steve Lacy has agreed to delay proceeding with finding new police chief until after a new mayor is elected. Motorists who access the Senator George Seller Bridge from Highway 28 Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee could see some changes in the future. And Washington has upgraded the threat posed by invasive northern pike from level 1 to level 3. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Some jobs are a calling. They take passion and a devotion to the community. They're here for your kids, guiding the next generation of leaders. At Gisa Credit Union, we help you support local teachers. Every purchase you make with a Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select teacher organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Gisa Teachers Affinity debit card.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Welcome back. In other news, outgoing East Wenatchee Mayor Steve Lacy has agreed to delay proceeding with finding a new police chief until after a new mayor is elected. At last night's city council meeting, the mayor tabled a plan to hire an outside consultant to conduct a search for a new police chief to replace Randy Harrison. Harrison has announced he's retiring on December 31st. The mayor said he would welcome the opportunity to participate in the selection process, but he said he didn't want to give the impression that he wants to control it.
Given the situation the last year and a half here at the city, which I won't go into, it seems to me that having an outside voice and consultant and the expertise associated with that and making this choice as an aid to, again, the next mayor and the people that are going to be involved would be beneficial. But ultimately, that's your choice.
Chief Harrison's departure comes after an independent outside review of the department identified several problems, including mismanagement. Lacy explained it was for that reason he proposed hiring an outside firm to conduct the search.
So I wanted to allay the concerns, if there are any, and it's been expressed to me that there are possibly some along those lines, as a preliminary to the decision that I want the council to make, and that is whether to go ahead with this selection or whether to delay it, possibly for that reason or any other that you might think of.
Council members, including the two mayor candidates, Tim Dietering and Geraldine Crawford, agreed that the process should be tabled until after the November election. Well, motorists who access the Senator George Seller Bridge from Highway 28 Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee could see some changes in the future. NCWLIFE Steve Hare reports.
DOT engineers have been studying traffic flow patterns in the area since a new roundabout was installed earlier this year. The roundabout is currently used by traffic going northbound on Sunset Highway and from Valley Mall Parkway westbound on 5th Street. Southbound drivers now use a merge lane that requires them to yield the right-of-way to cars entering the bridge from the roundabout, and that causes considerable congestion for southbound traffic, especially during the morning commute. Lauren Loebsack with DOT says engineers are currently looking at possible changes to the intersection to improve traffic flow in the area. She said details should be forthcoming by the end of this week. Steve Hare, NCWLIFE News.
Washington has upgraded the threat posed by invasive northern pike from level 1 to now level 3. The move is in preparation for an invasive species emergency should the predatory fish make it below Grand Coulee Dam. If an emergency is declared, Fish and Wildlife officials would be in line for more funding to target the fish. Northern pike eat salmon and have devastated some fisheries. Last year, a pike was found about 10 miles from Grand Coulee Dam. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and this is Amanda, and we are from Impact Auto Sales,
where you can expect a hassle-free car buying experience. With our wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, let one of our friendly sales staff help you find the vehicle that fits your lifestyle. We have financing available for all credit types and great low rates for first-time buyers. Call us today at 888-8000 or stop by 3522 State Highway 97A in Wenatchee. Impact Auto Sales, where we strive to make an impact on your life and not your wallet.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. As you may know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In tonight's feature story, Jessica Johnson of SAGE, a domestic abuse treatment center in Wenatchee, appeared this week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Dan Kuntz to talk about the many forms domestic violence can take.
First of all, we like to think that domestic violence doesn't happen here and doesn't happen to people we know. The fact is that we know the statistic is like 4 out of 5 people know somebody who's been in a violent relationship. They just might not know who that is. They don't, because domestic violence is very, very personal, and it's very traumatizing. Yeah. People don't want to talk about it because they're embarrassed about it. They're ashamed. So it's not like hey, let's go have a cup of coffee and I'll tell you all about what's happening at home. But it also happens, not only between married couples, but it starts really young with kids too. So the youngest kiddo that we've had come into our office to talk about dating violence, which is considered domestic violence, was 12. 12.
Sure.
12, you think of, kids playing with toys, not, not having relationships. So, and the types of violence for young people are different than for adults usually. There's more controlling behavior. There's a lot more technology aspects to it. So a lot more like
cyber
stalking,
some bad apps and bad websites
right,
that
exactly.
simply should not be on.
Pressuring for like sending photos that are inappropriate and things like that. So that looks a little bit different than it does when you're an adult.
Is that on the uptick? Have you been noticing more and more of these instances of teen dating kind of stuff like that?
It is on the rise, and one of the things is that it seems like every time we get a handle on one of the apps, then there's some new app that you don't even know about that can appear on your kids' phone, and it looks like the calculator, and unless you open it up and you know how to open that up, then it comes out into something that's not really good. So we talk a lot about that at the schools, and talk about how you should be aware that once you hit send, you no longer have control over where that goes.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Before we get to all of those details, and there are a lot to get to, let's take a look outside our weather window for this afternoon. And pretty much this was our story off and on all day today. A typical early fall day. Well, now we're getting into a month worth of fall, but pretty typical October fall weather with some light scattered showers throughout the mountains. We did see a little bit of that here in the Wenatchee Valley as well. A pretty good rain shower at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, but at noon we saw some sunshine, and that was kind of our weather today. This is a beautiful look outside at the Wenatchee Valley, outside our weather window. This is from Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. Today's high temperatures not very warm with all the cloudiness and some cold air rushing in to North Central Washington. Unofficially 54 degrees our high temperature today. That's 7 degrees below where we should be now for our normal high, which is 61. Pretty mild start to the day though at 45, mainly because of all of that cloud cover that was around this morning. 41 is our normal low temperature. Record high 77 degrees back in 1963. Record low 30 in 1989. We have picked up 1/100th of an inch of moisture, and that was up until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. That will go up when we talk again tomorrow night, but that now gets our yearly total up to 5.94 inches. Sunrise this morning, 7:21, and the sun will set tonight. Getting earlier, isn't it, at 6:11. Let's take a peek at how our Thursday shapes up weather-wise, and not a lot of change from today. We'll see temperatures maybe tick up just a little bit for our Thursday. Not as much cloudiness and raininess during the day, but by the time we get into Thursday night, an even better chance for some rain. 63 tomorrow in Moses Lake, 62 Ephrata, 61 in Quincy, the Wenatchee area about 58 degrees, 55 for Leavenworth, and 57 the high temperature tomorrow in Chelan, so just about 3 to 5 degrees warmer than the temperatures that we saw today. Taking a look at our surface loop tonight, we will see cloudy skies, rain still likely tonight. In fact, a better chance for rain tonight, about a 60 to 70% chance, a light south breeze. Here's a look at that frontal boundary and a very wet west to east flow moving into Washington State, and that's going to stick around for quite some time. We're seeing a trough just below all this storminess, and that means a 30% chance of rain in the morning. Breezy conditions too for Thursday, about 20 miles an hour at times here in the Wenatchee area, and a 60% chance of rain. Almost a carbon copy for Friday, a 30% chance for morning showers on Friday, and then a 70% chance of rain late in the day. Not quite as breezy for Friday, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Most of that stronger wind will move over into Montana. Saturday, folks, as we kick off the weekend, it's going to be a wet one. Cloudy skies, a 70% chance of rain throughout the state. We are going to see some cooler temperatures too, with temperatures dropping back down into the lower 50s. Sunday, mostly cloudy and cool. We'll see a 50% chance of rain on Sunday. Most of the heavier precipitation will be off to our east, but we're still going to keep about a 50-50 chance for the wet stuff. Monday, mostly cloudy skies, a 40% chance for showers. But look what's happening. A little bit of a ridge is starting to build over the Pacific Northwest, so that means warmer temperatures beginning early next week, and into Tuesday we'll continue that warm up as the ridge moves up into British Columbia, but still about a 40% chance for scattered showers. Let's take a look now at your quick Lube and Tune 7-day forecast. Tonight will drop down a lot like tonight, or this morning I should say, at 44 degrees. Breezy, rain likely for Thursday night and 58 degrees. Same goes for Friday. Not quite as windy on Friday, but it's still a good chance for rain late in the day. 55 your high as we kick off the weekend on Saturday, and that probably is our best chance for rain all day will be on Saturday. 54 is all for a high temperature on Sunday with the 50% chance of rain, and then we'll see a 40% chance of the wet stuff on both Monday and Tuesday, with highs warming up then into the upper 50s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
People are really skeptical of our industry. They have been sold products, they have been sold policies they either don't need, don't understand, confusing. I understand that. We are more about the process and the people. Our SFG roadmap is designed to take care of all of those concerns. For those that have questions about their retirement, we would love the opportunity to sit down and chat with you.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. Well, I guess, Mariner fans, we can take heart. Just 10 years ago, the Washington Nationals finished the season 69-93, dead last in their division. Now, Washington's headed to the World Series for the first time in team history after sweeping St. Louis in 4 games to win the NLCS. Now, the Mariners just finished a 68-94 campaign, and Washington, qualifying for the World Series, leaves Seattle as the only franchise in Major League history not to make the World Series. Washington jumped on St. Louis starter Dakota Hudson for 7 runs in the first inning en route to a 7-4 win last night in front of a capacity crowd at Nationals Park. Trey Turner 2 for 4 with a run and 2 RBIs. Juan Soto 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI to lead Washington. The Nationals now await to see if they'll be headed to Houston or New York for Game 1 of the World Series, which begins on Tuesday. By the way, fans of this franchise had to wait 36 years as the Montreal Expos and then another 15 years as the Washington Nationals in order to make the World Series. So let's do the math there. 51 years. So Seattle fans, you've waited 43 years. That would make it 8 more years, and we'll be in the World Series. Well, Houston is up 2-1 against the Yankees after winning Game 3 yesterday 4-1. Garrett Cole worked 7 innings for the victory, allowing no runs on 4 hits with 7 strikeouts and 5 walks. Yankees left 9 men on base and were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Jose Altuve and Josh Reddick did the damage offensively. They hit solo home runs off New York starter Luis Severino, who took the loss, lasting 4 1/3 innings. Game 4 underway, rain permitting, at Yankee Stadium on FS1. Well, turning to the Les Schwab Prep Soccer scoreboard from last night, the Davis Pirates surprised the Wenatchee Panthers with a 2-1 win in a shootout. Davis outscored Wenatchee in the shootout session 4-3 to hand the Panthers their second loss in Big Nine play this season. Eastmont, meanwhile, jumped out to a 4-0 lead at half and went on for a 5-zip win over Eisenhower at Wildcat Stadium. That puts the Wildcats into first place alone in the Big Nine at 7-1. Wenatchee second place at 6-2. By the way, those two teams face off Saturday at 1 o'clock at Wildcat Stadium. We'll have that live on the NCWLIFE channel. Also last night, Moses Lake kept pace with the Panthers, improving to 5-2 on the season with a 2-0 win over West Valley. Other soccer action Tuesday, Kashmir bombed Omak 8-0. Othello got by Quincy 5-3, and Ellensburg doubled up Ephrata 4-2 as the Bulldogs remain unbeaten in CWAC play. On the Les Schwab Prep volleyball scoreboard from last night, Wenatchee stayed red hot with a sweep of Davis 3-0. Panthers improved to 7-1 in the Big Nine, 8-2 overall, just a game back of West Valley in the standings. The Rams took care of Moses Lake in 3 games, and Eastmont picked up a victory at Eisenhower 3-0. Wildcats now 5-3 in the Big Nine, third place, while the Chiefs are fourth at 3-4. Also in the Caribou Trail League last night, Chelan swept Cascade 3-zip to improve to 4-0 in league play, 9-0 on the season. Omak improved to 2-1 in CTL play and 3-0 sweep of Kashmir. Central Washington Athletic Conference play, Ellensburg kept pace with Sela atop the standings at 6-0 with a 3-game sweep of Quincy. The only Central Washington B-League score we got from last night, Lake Roosevelt won a close one with Manson 3-2. Well, tomorrow night is hockey night here on the NCWLIFE channel. We'll feature the Wenatchee Wild and West Kelowna Warriors from a game at the Town Toyota Center last weekend. Art Checker has your play-by-play beginning at 7 o'clock tomorrow here on your television home for the Wenatchee Wild. Speaking of the Wild, Wenatchee has quite a road trip coming up this weekend. The Wild will play at Alberni Valley Friday at 7, then Cowichan Valley at the Cowichan Community Center Saturday at 6, and then wrap up the trip in Victoria at the Q Center against the Grizzlies Sunday at 2 o'clock. Wenatchee's currently 4th in the Interior Division standings at 6-4-1-1 with 14 points. Penticton leads the division at 11-1 with 22 points. That's best in the entire British Columbia Hockey League. Again, the Wild Night tomorrow night, hockey night here on the NCW Life channel. Then we're getting ready for football on Friday as the Wenatchee Panthers will entertain the Davis Pirates. We'll talk more and get a preview starting tomorrow here on the evening news on the NCW Life channel. You know, interestingly, Cowichan, the river that runs through Cowichan, called the Cowichan River, they just recently discovered a crossbreed between a coho and a chinook. So a king salmon and a silver salmon has various characteristics of each. So I'll have to talk to our good buddy Arch Ecker, see if he sees any of these crossbreeds in that Cowichan River while he's up there this weekend. All right, that's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. A retired Boeing 747 will get an expensive retrofit at the Grant County International Airport. The Qantas airliner taxied into its hangar on Tuesday, where it'll be modified into a test jet for new experimental Rolls-Royce engines. It'll take an estimated 2 years to fully convert the jet. In the process, Rolls-Royce subcontractor Aerotech says it will create 40 new jobs at its Moses Lake Flight Test Facility. In other news, the Forest Service opened a year-round gated road for 1 day this month in the Tonasket Ranger District to allow volunteers to gather firewood for veterans. The volunteers included OMAC Home Depot workers, American Legion members, and Forest Service personnel. They worked from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., cutting about 9 cords of wood. Veterans who were in need of wood for their homes were identified by the Legion Post, then showed up with trucks and trailers. Ranger District wildlife biologist Matt Marsh said he hopes it can become an annual event. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz with a peek at what's on tap tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Great Thursday show coming your way. Julie Smith is an oncologist at Confluence Health, and we'll talk about breast cancer awareness. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That conversation with Dr. Smith will come your way on Thursday. And via Skype, an exclusive interview with Noah, who's going to teach us how to build an ark. Everybody stay dry out there. That's tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Live, beginning at 7 a.m. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
The NCW Life channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life channel is your local TV station.
My first experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house, fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.